drawing towards the close of today's Malaysia Futures 2023 Forum, I'd like to now call upon Dr. Suraya Ismail, KRI Institute, to of course take the stage. And joining Dr. Suraya Ismail on stage will also be Professor Dr. Hyun Shin, Professor of Geography and Urban Studies, LSE, and Director of the Swee Hock Southeast Asia Center, SEAC, United Kingdom. Thank you. Prof. Shin, Dr. Suraya, over to you.
Thank you, Tamina. Thank you so much. We are doing concluding remarks. I'm doing this with Hyun. But before we start, we'd just like to thank everybody, all the speakers, all the moderators, for giving us such a wonderful, constructive, highly engaging sessions with all their work and all their frank discussions, the excellent research that has been presented, and doing it in such a way that is so engaging and discursive. I can't say enough, but thank you so much for doing this, and thank you for all the audience for being with us, virtual, physical. I hope we've been good hosts to your to your 2 days with us, and I hopefully we can do more events such as this in order to have more public discourse of the problems we face as a nation, and what are those actionable policies that we can do at the macro level, as well as the specific policy at the localities. I think that would be the starting point of my concluding remarks for today, that we have an overarching principle for a macro objective, but what is a macro objective if not the micro of all small initiatives at a local level to go up into that macro policy prescription or policy options? And I think one of the things that came out as well is we really don't have to think about it in quite a fast dichotomy type, borrowing from Danny, fast dichotomy. We can reimagine a future that has not been imagined before. And I think that's a good start for thinking about what's good for us based on our social values, social norms, what we believe in, and then to push that forward as well. And I think the way we've programmed this conference, if I may, Hyun, we've discussed this since last year, and I think the way in which we wanted, this was an idea from LSE, with Futures and Southeast Asia Futures, and it was done earlier there. And then I thought, wow, what wonderful idea. Let's talk about the future for Malaysia. And to have not just economic, but political, social. I'm sure we could have done more, but that would be in 1 week, and nobody wants to be with us for 1 week or 5 days. But what was the motivation and the hope was that within these 5 futures, you can see that it's overlapping, it's complex, and we all have to really come up with really good conceptions of the problem and good conceptions of the actionable policies or quote-unquote solution. And those are all rolling plans, because it cannot just be one way of doing it and then not being agile about it. And we heard how data and evidence would be part and parcel of that ongoing rolling plans of options, policy options. I think that was very important to recognize, and having more dialogue, but at the same time being decisive when we need to. So it's quite interesting how, at one end we have to be, continuously having a fluid dialogue. At one end we have to be decisive. One end we have to look at macro scale. At one end we have to do at local scale. But this is policy making for you, to think about it in a way that is following the objective and hopefully we can actually do something good and useful. I think from what was discussed today, I felt and yesterday, I felt that we've achieved those objectives in making sure that we understand that it is complex, we understand that things will be different in the future, but we also have a say. We must step up and think independently for our own future. I think that was very important for us to learn and to, in a way, do more research, do more discursive discussions, so that the best ideas might just come up from this agglomeration of ideas. I think that's all I'm going to say for today. Hyun.
Thank you very much. I guess some of the things that came out from yesterday and today, especially from today, were issues of how there's a need of rebalancing the current imbalance in the economic sphere, in socio-economic sphere, which was the main topic for afternoon, in the political sphere and in geopolitical sphere as well. And in trying to understand the imbalances, we try to also, when you're designing the forum of this Malaysia Futures, we try to also, we try our best to think about the diversity and inclusion in terms of the speakers, but also in terms of the topics. The diversity on the basis of race, class, gender, ethnicity, and any other attributes of our personal group identities. The list can be endless, but I think we try to make the best use of our time whilst and trying to focus on some of these aspects. Of course, these diverse groups on the basis of these attributes would produce many different diverse trajectories of histories, also producing, again, diverse imaginaries of the future. But of course, we also understand there's a hierarchy of these imaginaries of future, and this is the problem we've been discussing as well during the 2 days, how these imaginaries of the future can have their own hierarchy, power relations, and therefore we really want to see these rebalanced as much as we can. And here, I think there's also one thing that came up from the morning discussion, from the keynote, from the 2 keynotes, and also the morning discussion, was the importance of framing problems and how to reframe the way these issues are discussed. And I think this is really important. And what best way can be to change the way the framing is being conducted than sitting together in a way that we have done during the last 2 days, where researchers, academics, and other experts, professionals, actually get a chance to sit together and to have conversations about these issues together. And I think this is a really very eye-opening, insightful discussions, opportunities that we had. And I'm really happy that many well, not solutions, but trying to think about how we can approach these issues from different perspectives. I think that's a really good starting point for think about the Malaysia Futures. And we also talked about how important it is about these discussions to be involving citizenry, but also importance of leaderships. And here, I would just want to conclude the remark by saying the leadership of Suraya has been really important in preparation for the Malaysia Futures Forum. The work the Khazanah Research Institute has put together was really remarkable, and really thank you for this. We at SEAC, at LSE, really wanted this event to be to see KRI to have the ownership of the event, of the discussions, the ownership of the discussions and the various conversations we had during the last 2 days should be in the hands of people in Malaysia and Khazanah in order for this to continue into the future. And of course, LSE and SEAC would want to be part of it, to support it and help in whichever way we can. But I think at the end of the day, it is really the leadership of Khazanah, like people like Suraya and many others, members of staff, who have produced a very wonderful input into the whole debate throughout 2 days, will continue to be very important and influential I would also want to thank, again, like Suraya, all the members of staff here, especially in the conference venue, and in addition to Kajana Research Institute, who produced the wonderful support throughout the whole 2 days and before the event as well. If you go to Kajana Research Institute website, on the press coverage, you'll see a nice summary of press release from yesterday, and I'm sure there will be another one after today. And I don't think I can actually write it any better than what they have done. So really thank you for producing these summaries. I don't think AI can produce it any better than our Kajana Research Institute staff.
Thank you.
Thanking all the conference venue staff members, as well as Tamina, who has really produced a wonderful support for the running of the event. So we thank everyone for these, and especially Suraya again.
Thank you.
And we hope to see you again. But there's one more session remaining.
Oh, yes, yes.
So don't forget about that. So we tried to, I think it was Suraya's suggestion, I remember, to have this poster session to include our early career researchers who will be the future generation of Malaysia, the future of Malaysia, the future of research infrastructure of Malaysia. And it will be really nice to actually conclude. I found a really nice suggestion to conclude the session with a young researcher network and visit the posters.
Yeah, visit the posters.
So please do stay, and for that, an opportunity for our young researchers to shine and to share their work, and to give them the platform that they deserve. So I conclude that here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Could we have a quick round of applause for Dr. Hyun and Dr. Suraya, definitely emphasizing on local stakeholdership moving forward. Dr. Hyun, Dr. Suraya, kindly do please feel free to take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed been a privilege and so far, and as briefly mentioned by Dr. Hyun, allow me to elaborate now. In the spirit of knowledge building and academic solidarity, Malaysia Futures 2023 will be ending with a special session for early career researchers and students to showcase their work and ideas around Malaysia Futures. You would have, of course, seen their posters displayed outside the auditorium since yesterday. They are still there, and also if you're just joining us today, perhaps you haven't had the opportunity to look at them up close or in further detail, so now is the time. This is, of course, going to be a free and easy session. You can actually be heading outside shortly and join us for this session, engaging with some of the presenters who will be around, asking them questions, exchanging ideas and networking, or perhaps even explore potential collaborations. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been such a wonderful audience. We would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for your presence, your engaged participations, and of course, adding to the conversation and discussions with your rich, thoughtful, and insightful questions as well. On behalf of the organizers, we would like to sincerely apologize for any shortcomings or inconveniences experienced due to a couple of unforeseen circumstances, resulting in a few changes of our forum program. We appreciate your patience and understanding. A round of applause now for yourselves, please. We hope you've had a productive time connecting in discussions both on and off stage in our efforts towards building a more cohesive and equitable Malaysian future. I'm Tamina Kausji. It's been a pleasure taking you through today's proceedings as well as yesterday, and on behalf of SEAC and KRI, we thank you once again for being a part of Malaysia Futures 2023. Here's wishing everyone a very pleasant evening ahead, and as you head out to, of course, join in the Young Researchers session, tea is also being served alongside, and we will be here with you all the way until 6 p.m. or so in the evening. Thank you very much. Please take care, stay safe. Hope to see you at the next one.